Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 216, Tunnel. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days, Shin has been 1v1ing X and has been doing everything he can to just not die. It's all he could do to just not immediately perish. But his luck seemingly ran out, as in the last page of the previous chapter, Shin seemed to have gotten his head cut off. And we open with the result of that. And man, didn't see this one coming. He did in fact get hit. The sword did in fact go through his neck. But then we see a 2-page spread where Atari, the ESP master and luck person extraordinaire, has been grabbing onto Shin. And we see that Shin's head is noticeably still on his shoulders. Atari is like, I'm glad I made it in time. And he's like, what are you doing here? Wait, more importantly, he just slashed me. How am I still alive? And then Atari explains the tunnel effect. And the tunnel effect is a phenomenon in which a particle can penetrate a barrier greater than its own energy, even though the odds are infinitesimal. So the particles of Shin's body and the sword miraculously not managed to not collide. This is, I feel like, the Flash thing where he can vibrate through walls. That just happened out of pure luck between Shin and X. You're already shaking your head. Are you muted?
What are you wearing on your head?
A cap.
There's a lot of it in this manga chapter. Whole lot of cap.
A whole lot.
Whole lot of suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm. So Atari goes on to explain that no matter how minuscule the chances, if something is technically possible, that's where luck comes into play. And she said that you said, Shin replied, but you said you only had a tiny bit of luck left. And Atari's like, yep, and I just used the last of that tiny bit, which is why I'm sorry about this, Shin, but we're now left with some major bad luck. And we get another 2-page spread where the other members of the Order pull up behind Shin. And that's not good. I think Oki is splashing in the water, like he's kicking up extra high in his walk.
Yes.
Like in a whimsical way, which is funny. So the entire Order
he looks so hardcore.
Yeah,
on the next page. Yeah,
that detailed drawing of his face. The entire Order is here, and they're not happy. Torres is like, what's this? How come we're all at the aquarium? What a bizarre coincidence. So it's not looking good. Everybody's just kind of explaining, that they all got there and that it's all a twist of fate that they all arrived at the exact same time. And Tanabata, he gets asked by Torres, is like, I was playing the sea yarn and suddenly had a hankering to smell the sea. How about you, Tanabata? And Tabata, the guitar guy who strummed boiled like a guitar, just thought to himself, no reason. I just planned on visiting the aquarium today a while back. Do I really need a reason to visit the aquarium? I don't get it. When I get home, I'll write a song about this.
What an edgelord tsundere. What the fuck?
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's very funny. So what's going on here? And it's not looking good. The Order immediately attacks. Magnet Girl pulls down the metal wire holding up a life-size recreation of a whale, and she just tosses it at Shin and Atari, knocking them into the next room. They are getting jumped bad.
He tanked that shit, though. I'll tell you this.
He did tank the whale.
He just... like that, the funny thing about that is that in Marvel Rivals, Namor, his special, he throws a big ass whale at you.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's funny.
Yes, I'm dead ass serious.
Well, we know that Shin would survive it. So
yeah,
Shin and Atari, they both got hit. but they both made it, and they're getting jumped pretty badly. Taurus like immediately sprays him with the sand gun, and he is you can see just like the burn marks of the sand, just like the friction of it, just destroying him, scratching his face up.
Dunzo.
Not looking good. And Atari asks Shin to kill her, and she says, "You're in the crossfires of my bad luck. If I die, there's a chance you may live. You saved me, so I want to save you." And Shin goes, "That ain't my problem. I made a promise to Mr. Sakamoto that I'd protect everyone until he's back. Besides, Atari, you've got it all wrong. You got to make your own luck to survive in this world." And yeah, all the members of the order pull up to Shin, and yeah, he's like, "How do you think a worm like you has any chance of survival?" And then Shin thinks to himself, "Wait a second, there's one way to get out of this." And that's where the chapter ends. Whew. This was a close one, man. This was a really cool chapter. But Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 216?
I'm going to have a moment of vulnerability with you guys for a moment. And I guess for everybody else who listens to this podcast and may ever listen to this episode. But I'm going to make a statement and then I have a question. This is the statement. This metallic chick, this magnetic chick, her fit, very sexy. Like, very, very sexy. Like, I need to see that, with my girl. Like, I want to see her in some
This cosplay?
sexy underwear and like a leather jacket.
I'm trying to
And
find
then
a
those
full
things around the legs, the thighs, or the garters, I think they're called.
Garters.
I mean,
Garters?
I think that's what it's called. Garters, yeah. I mean, damn. With the high fucking leather boots. Yeah.
It's a good look for sure.
It is. It's very fine. And here's my question, right? Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-part question. Number one, does that make me a gooner?
Well, there's only one question that can answer that, and it feels a little personal.
Really?
Have you,
Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, you're a gooner.
Okay. So
damn, that was so definitive.
All right, this is my next question. Are there mangas that are more inherently goon friendly, or
Yes.
gooner coded,
Yeah,
like than others? Is that what we would call fan service?
Yeah, the more fan service heavy ones are very are goon approved,
Goontastic, if you
goon
will.
certified.
Yo, so I'm gonna share one last thing. All right, Marvel Rivals is a gooner game.
Yes,
It is. It is. It's without a doubt.
Yeah, I've seen
I
those
don't think
videos of
any
Emma
serious
Stone, Emma
player
Frost.
would ever deny that.
I've seen those videos of Emma Frost. That's a gooner shit for sure. That alone.
Like the choking shit.
Yeah, I was like, man, the gooners have taken over for sure.
Oh my God, it's bad, bro. It's bad. It's bad. My own friends, I'm not even saying any names. My own people I be online with, they certain things I keep in my mind. You know what I mean? But these niggas they just saying it. They're like, yo, Psylocke, pull up to me real quick. Let me see. And it's like, yo, that might be a whole nigga on the other side of the fucking line.
Wait, they're telling other players this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yo,
insane.
I watched this video.
What do you mean?
So I watched this video where this guy was like harassing this Luna Snow player.
That's insane.
He had Iron Man. He kept flying like chasing her, trying to do this air hump shit. Right?
That's insane.
And then she finally spoke, and he was like, "Wait, you're a girl?" And she was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, no thanks, I'm good." Yo, these niggas is weird. He was like,
wait,
shit.
I'm confused.
Yo, so one of the other guys was like, "Oh nah, I only like boys," and then the other person was like, "Yeah, don't tell my homies I was."
But wait,
I was
if he only likes boys, then why is he going up to the female character?
Yo, it's just so weird. I don't understand. Yeah, they're gonna do it to a girl character, but they're like, "Oh no, I'm only gonna do it if it's actually a guy on the other end."
Wow, This is
Yeah,
this is transcendent
That was
levels
just
of
one video,
goonery.
but that shit was hilarious, yo. These motherfuckers is weird. I have, like I said, my own real life teammates have had shared moments of gooning, but not
They've
the shit that I be seeing like niggas make YouTube and Instagram.
They've partaken in goonery.
Yeah, they partake a bit.
That's insane to me. What do they get out of this?
Brian knows.
I don't
He knows
understand.
exactly what I'm talking about. He's being very
knows
silent
what.
because he's.
Have you guys
he's
ever
having
been
flashbacks?
Have you guys ever been gooned at? Were you victims of goonery?
No, thankfully not. I don't use any goon-friendly characters. I use Rocket and Hulk, so I only got to worry about the furries. Honestly.
Unless
I only got to worry about
people are really into Captain America.
I would imagine they would
No,
be.
you'd be good. Yeah, you're fine. We
I
don't
guess
use
it's a female
goon-friendly characters.
Yeah, that's insane though.
I would argue they're almost anti-goon.
Yeah,
You look at Captain America, and you don't have not one sexual thought in your mind. It's just straight justice and righteousness.
he's too
It makes you
pure.
want to sign up for the military when he uses his ult.
He's too pure. I only want to pull up my bootstraps whenever I'm around Cap.
Yeah, and I'm a whole leftist. But
Yeah.
when he pops ult and we wipe that team or we get a team off point, you know what I'm saying?
He's like every time
I just might sign up.
every time Captain America passes by, he's like, you know what? I think I could start a business.
Just starting it by yourself.
It's time for me to
Just
give
doing it
in.
yourself, man.
It's time for me to give in to
Just grind.
capitalism.
Mhm.
Start a business. Underpay my employees.
Yeah, a good cap and rivals will definitely make you think about those things. Something that no normal person with a decent brain, working brain, would ever admit to.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun exploration into goonery.
It
What
sure
else?
was.
What
I
are
don't
your
know
other
what else
thoughts?
I have to say about the chapter itself. It was great.
Yeah.
The fact that they all pulled up to the aquarium and had their own reasons, that didn't need to happen. It would have been super cool if they was just tracking down X. They was like, oh, we seen that he was here, and so we pulled up to support him. That would have been okay. Anybody would have had an issue with that here? Raise your hand.
No.
Obama should know. No, right? So, but he just said, "Nah, I'm gonna make this interesting." I don't buy that. I think that what happened is that now there's two realities, right? That converge, kind of like in like Marvel or whatever, like two timelines that converged. There's the normal timeline that's going on right now, that like where Shin actually died because there was that explanation made no fucking sense ever, right? And the author said, nah, or he comes up with something else at least. And then there's the converged timeline that we're on, where this happened. We're not in the good timeline anymore. And I'm worried. I am disappointed. Brian, what were your thoughts?
This is a silly chapter. Another silly chapter that made me laugh. Just the fact that, all right, so I was I would have been way more upset about the whole like ass pull neck slash thing. I would have been way more upset about that if it wasn't immediately equalized by the entirety of orders showing up and all of them having their own unique reasons as to why they're at the aquarium. For some reason, this reminded me of Christian. I feel like this is some shit Christian would come up with.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like this is like
Crash
up the
was
fucking
his favorite
alley.
movie.
Crash? No, it wasn't.
That's the one with all of the different stories.
Why would you?
Right.
Why would you cap on me like that? Why would you?
Well, it's
besmirch-
between that and A Clockwork Orange. One or the other.
Neither of those movies are my favorite movie. Neither of them. And you're gonna stop
But you
disrespecting.
do have to admit that at least one of the two are considered a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah. Not for me, either of them.
It's objective. It's not a feeling.
It's not for me. You know, that's a subjective opinion. It could be for others. It's not for me.
Okay.
Were those all your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. It's fun chapter.
Yeah, this was very close. I think this was probably my second favorite. I'm not gonna lie, I had a really good time with this one. And it's like Brian said, I agree with him. I think like the fact that the order showed up was an equalizing force. To and you know the chapter spells it out as much. You know, it's Shin did get extremely lucky, and it does seem like an ass pull, but it's offset by the equally improbable thing, a damn near equally improbable thing happening of all of these people having various stupid reasons for showing up at the aquarium despite being heartless assassins that don't like anything, not even each other. So, you know, I think it makes sense, and I didn't hate it. Honestly, I think it was more of a device to get the rest of the order there, more than anything. So
It was a nice reminder to not take this series seriously.
I agree with that.
It felt like the mangaka was like, hold up, before you get mad.
honestly, yeah,
Before you get mad.
he said, "I know what I'm doing."
Here, just remind yourself what you're reading right now.
Before you get on me right now, remember, I'm about to have a scene where a lady throws a fucking model whale at these people. Remember what you're reading. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I didn't hate it. I think a lot of people I've seen around talk about it. I didn't know this, but there's a comment section in the web version of Shonen Jump, and you can kind of see people's reactions. And a lot of people were like, "This is cap. It's bullshit." And I'm like, that's a little bit the point. The whole point is that like Atari's powers, even in a small amount, can just pull off insane odds. But once she's out, the opposite bad luck is retributed upon them. There is a price to pay for very good luck, and it's immediate very bad luck, it seems. So I'm glad that was kind of rectified in that equalizing force kind of way. I'm excited to see how Shin gets out of this. It can't be another luck thing. So, you know, he's already closed the door. It can't be another lucky thing. It has to be Shin making it out on his own ingenuity. So,
yeah, he's going 1v20 on these guys.
yeah. At an aquarium where they all wanted to go and hang out for a little bit.
I guess you could say there's plenty of fish in this sea.
Yeah. I gotta have this queued up. I gotta be faster with these drops, bro. All right, but really that's all my thoughts. I thought this was a cool, funny chapter. I enjoyed it second most. So but I had a good time reading it. That's all I really have to say. There's not a whole lot story-wise to say outside of this. Shin taking up for Sakamoto is a cool moment. And I'm excited to see how he gets out of it.